Thank you, Ranking Member Murray. Wish we did have more than 5 minutes. This is such an important topic, and I think as you can understand, 14 proposals from the other side of the aisle, 16 from our side. This is a big deal. I'm approaching this as recently a CEO of a company that brought healthcare issues into the C-suite 10 years ago. It needs to be there, not probably in HR if we're ever going to fix it. I want to give you a little bit of history on what I did. Was not a member of a group as large as Ms. Mitchell's. Wish I had been, but I was simply frustrated as a Main Street entrepreneur that every year it was the same issue. Premiums kept rising. I get this smirk of, you're lucky it's only going up 5 to 10% a year. And I want to let the industry know, as well as the American public, that we are with you there, that it is a crisis. And I would challenge the industry. We shouldn't need 14 proposals from one side of the aisle, 16 from this side, to be fixing what's 18% of our GDP. If it was any other part of our GDP, competition and transparency would have gotten rid of the whole mess, through the process it works elsewhere when you've got it. Through that frustration, here's what worked for us, and I'm seeing some of it being incorporated in these ideas that we're talking about. I figured out back then, and we haven't talked much about the user, the consumer, the employee, completely atrophied in terms of being involved in the market because it's been so paternalistic. When the insurance companies basically said, hey, part of this is the fact that the people that use it never ask how much does it cost. They don't want to be involved in it, and I think that's important. I devised a plan that did force skin in the game, gave all the tools you could get, including health savings accounts, and basically emphasized wellness, not remediation, did everything in the kitchen sink, basically cut costs out of the gate by 50%. And for my employees, covering pre-existing conditions and no caps on coverage, which we need to do as conservatives and Republicans. It's part of Obamacare. That just wasn't going to work due to its structure. We need to get with it. I've not had a premium increase now into the 10th year because I've got my employees engaged. Every time they enter the healthcare system, they at least see how much does it cost and look at their alternatives, despite the industry not doing much to accommodate it. It can be done. We're running out of time. Employers are getting frustrated. Most aren't as passionate as I am, or maybe the group in California. And there's a clear alternative on the other side. I give this as a warning to the industry. You ought to be fixing it yourselves, not having us here having to nudge you with legislation that wouldn't occur in any other sector of our economy. My question is going to be directed, first of all, excellent slate of witnesses. Maybe there's another round and we can get more in. I always stay here until the last person standing. This will be for Ms. Mitchell. In your group, which looks like it's got a lot of large employers, I'm sure a lot of what I said kind of resonates. What have you done to look at the other end of the equation? Consumers drive most markets with full transparency and the desire to get the best choice of quality and price. Do you think the consumer, the employee, has atrophied to where if we do make it more transparent and we get the industry to ever get out of its doldrums, will we have employees, consumers, patients be willing to have some skin in the game and help the system out as well?
Absolutely, and I think patients and families absolutely have skin in the game, the health of their families, but they are in a completely untenable, unfair situation. They have no information. We're talking about providers not even being allowed to share information with them, the providers that they trust, and we ask them to be responsible consumers with no ability to do so, no cost information, no relative quality information. So our members, and you would always be welcome as an honorary member, our members are trying any innovative approach they can to actually work with their employees to address their concerns. So we absolutely believe transparency is necessary and that we will have active involvement of patients.
So what I did is devised a plan with $1. You do have skin in the game, but then capped costs to where you can never go broke because you had a bad accident or got sick. And it did work, and I've had a 10-year and love to share those details with you. But
I look forward to it.
I think you're saying the same thing that I am. We all, for families, along with education, it's the most important thing out there. And ironically, that's the other thing going up faster than healthcare costs. The industry needs to really take this as a warning and a challenge. We're going to get some stuff across the finish line here. It's only nipping at the flanks. It's not going to happen unless we go to the other plan, which is Medicare for all. That's what basically all other countries have done. We're at a moment in time where we can keep the best of what we've got, but it's got to reform itself, or else that will be the only alternative. Industry, wake up. Thank you.